Hi friends, so today we are going to start chapter number 3 of Geo class 10, that is water resources. So as clear from the name, in this chapter we'll be studying about water. So we all know what is water, what is its uses, how water destroys life and everything. This is very simple chapter because it has derived from your real life. Daily life basically, like every monsoon season is described. Like what happens. We all have listened about floods in Assam and Odisha every year. So they're basically discussing about that only. So let's start. So this starts with the conversation between Chintu and Pinky. This is Chintu and this is Pinky. So Chintu asked Pinky, "Did you see those awesome TV reports on floods in Odisha?" My God, what havoc they have! Havoc means great confusion. They have created. It has destroyed and swept away everything in past. We know that when there are floods, it swept away everything. It doesn't leave behind houses. People don't have their livelihood. So she replied, "Yes, Chintu, I did. Isn't it strange that water can give life and take life as well?" So we need water to drink, cook food, wash our clothes and ourselves. Her father told her that he is an industrialist and he uses water in his industry. He uses water in industry and cooling machines. They need power which is supplied by a hydel power plant. So that is why she told that in ancient times we used to live near water resource because we can't live without water. So this is very basic conversation. Hope you understand. Then you already know that 3/4 of the Earth's surface is covered with water, but only a small proportion of it counts. So we know that this is whole Earth, right? In this 3/4 part, this part is covered with water, but only about some part of it is fresh water that can be put to use. The fresh water is mainly obtained from surface runoff like rivers and the basic resources groundwater that is continuously being renewed and recharged through hydrological cycle. All water moves within the hydrological cycle, ensuring that water is a renewable resource. So we have studied about hydrological cycle in previous classes, but if you don't remember, let me show you what it looks like. So in a hydrological cycle, you have a water resource first. For example, I am drawing here an ocean. So this is an ocean in which there is a lot of water. And in a bright sunny day, you have a big sun. So the sun rays come here generating heat. And because of that heat, there is evaporation of water. Water gets evaporated. And what it leads to the formation of clouds. And then when the clouds are full, the occurrence of rainfall or precipitation. So for example, here 1 liter water is displaced. So this 1 liter is recharged and formed cloud, and it is again in this water resource. This is hydrological cycle. And in hydrological cycle there are 3 processes involved. First is evaporation. Second is condensation. Condensation is a process of turning water vapors in clouds, and then the rainfall is called precipitation. This precipitation can be in form of rain or snow, rainfall or snowfall. Clear? Hope this is clear now. Moving further, reading NCERT, what do you have next? Sorry, there was a technical issue. You might wonder the three-fourths of the earth. You may wonder that the three-fourths of the world is covered with water. Water is renewable resource. Then how it is in countries and regions around the globe suffer from water scarcity. Why is it predicted by 2025 nearly about 2 billion people will live in absolute water scarcity? So they are asking that you have resource which is water, which is three-fourths present on earth's surface, and you are saying it is renewable. So why there is scarcity? If you are having a resource, if you are knowing it's renewable, why there is scarcity? So now NCRT will answer. NCRT is not going to answer, let me answer you. So what, first we talk about water. Water is getting renewed. Okay, water is getting renewed. But it is that how much water is being used is not getting renewed. We are exploiting it. We are overusing it. We are making it dirty. So that is why if when it's getting renewed, the use, we are using it at a very high rate. That renewing rate and use rate have a very big difference. So now we have water, some facts and figures. 96.5% of total volume of world's water is estimated to exist in oceans, 2.5% in fresh water, 70% of fresh water occurs in ice sheet, glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland and mountainous regions of the world, with a little less than 30% of water is stored as underground water. See, India receives nearly 4% of the global precipitation, rank 133 in the world terms of water availability per person per annum. The total renewable resources of India are estimated as 1,897 square kilometer per annum. So they are telling facts which I think they are not so important. So see, whole water is 96.5%. In that only 2.5% is fresh water, and in that fresh water 70% is present in glaciers and 30% is present as groundwater. Clear? I think we need to take part 2 because this session is going to be so long. So then we have these pictures. So one more fact, by 2005 India has predicted that a large part of India will join the country's region have absolute water. So they are telling us 2025 onwards will be in water scarcity. So only 3 years left and we'll be in absolute scarcity. Water scarcity and need of water conservation and management. Given the abundance of renewability of water, it's difficult to imagine that we may suffer from water scarcity. The moment we speak of water shortage, we immediately associate with the regions having low rainfall or those who are drought prone. We instantaneously visualize the deserts of Rajasthan, women balancing me. Mud cars, earthen pots used for collecting, storing water, traveling long distances and get water. True availability of water resource varies from own space and time evenly due to variation in seasonal and annual precipitation, but water scarcity in most cases is caused by overexploitation, excessive use and unequal access. So they are telling us that if we think what is water scarcity and how it's happening and where it is going to happen, we always think of Rajasthan desert. Why? Because we think women carrying earthen pots on their heads to go far and collect water. But this is not because of that. Water scarcity may occur from different reasons. First reason is, have we told, precipitation less, but it is not the main reason. The main reason now is water scarcity. Main reason is overexploitation, excessive use, and unequal. See here, they are telling us, see, there is water everywhere, but you can't use this. This boy is filling this water from a tap. Although there is water everywhere, you can't use this water. This is overexploitation. Water everywhere, not a drop to drink. Heavy downpour, boy collecting dinner water in Kolkata, live cities and adjacent districts were paralyzed in sent overnight rain, meaning record 180 mm flooded vast area and disrupted traffic. So what they're telling is that there is water everywhere but not a drop to drink. See the boy collecting water in Kolkata after a flood. See, he's collecting water from a tap even though he's surrounded by water. So he can't drink any water. You need fresh water to drink, which is germ free. So this is a woman with matka in Kashmiri earthquake. Survivor carries water the snow to devastated villages. And this is women's collecting water. This is water. So I would like to tell you one thing a famous person told. One person said that World War III will be because of water. This is also a fact. Fact or a saying of someone. Clear? Moving on the next page. Where is then water scarcity likely to occur? You have read in Hydrological Cycle, fresh water can be distributed directly through precipitation, surface runoff or groundwater. So they are asking, we have already studied how we get fresh water. Fresh water from precipitation, surface runoff means rivers, and also groundwater, which is 30%. Then we have, is it possible for an area or region may have ample amount of water but still facing water scarcity? Many of our cities are such examples. Thus, water scarcity may be even an outcome of large growing population. So they are saying one reason can be growing population and consequent greater demands of water and unequal access. Unequal access is very main point, because where there is a lot of water they are exploiting it, where there is no water they are starving for it. So then we have a large population means more water, not only for domestic use but also to produce more food. Hence, to facilitate higher food grains production, water resources are being overexploited to expand irrigation areas and dry season agriculture. You may have seen in many television advertisements that most farmers have their own wells, tube wells for their farms for irrigation to increase their produce. But have you ever wondered what this could be result in? That is may lead to falling ground level water levels, adversely affecting water availability and food scarcity of people. So see, we have HYV seeds, right? But they need more water. To meet the need of water, farmers have tube wells. These tube wells are taking a lot of water, which is leading to over irrigation. This is the main point in the states of UP, Punjab and Haryana. We are over exploiting and over irrigating our fields. So post-independent India witnessed intensive industrialization and urbanization, creating a vast opportunities for us. Today, large industrial houses are as commonplace as industrial units of MNC, multinational corporations. Ever increasing numbers of industry that has made matters worse than exerting pressure on existing freshwater resources. Industries, apart from being heavy users of water, require power to run them. Much of the energy comes from hydroelectrical power. In India, hydroelectric power contributes about 22% of the total electricity produced. Moreover, multiplying urban areas, urban centers with large and dense populations, and urban lifestyle having only or not only added water and energy requirements but have further aggravated the problem. If you look into a housing society or colonies, you would find out most of them there have own groundwater pumping devices, water needs. Not surprisingly, we found a fragile water resource are being overexploited and cause the depletion in several cities. So, in this paragraph, what they're telling is first they told us about the farmers, how they are overusing. Now, after India became independent, we have a huge of urbanization and industrialization. So, because of this, we needed to have more water requirements. When we have more water requirements for industries, obviously we need more water. So, one main also reason is that in fresh water, some industries dump their waste into the earth. In earth, we have water. Here we have water, here they are entering something. So, this water is also getting dirty. Clear? This is the whole thing. So now we have focused on the quantitative aspects of water scarcity. Let us now consider another situation where water is sufficiently available to meet the needs of the people, but still area may suffer from water scarcity. Scarcity may lead due to bad quality of water. Lately there has been a growing of concern of even if there is ample amount of water needs of people, much of them may be polluted by domestic and industrial waste, chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers used in agriculture, thus making hazardous for human use. So now what they are saying is, we have seen quantitative use, that if there is less quantity, then we need this, we need this, we need to do that, blah blah blah. But now they are telling us that it doesn't mean that quantity is everything, right? Quality is something also, because there are some places in our world where we have ample amount of water but still we can't use it. Why can't we use it? Because it is hazardous for us. So now here comes India's rivers, especially smaller ones, have turned into toxic streams, and even big ones like Ganga, Yamuna are far from being pure. Assault on India's river from population growth, agriculture modernization, urbanization, industrialization, enormous growing day by day, the entire life stands threatened. So now what it is saying is, it is saying us that even though we have large rivers, but why we are exploiting it? We are making water dirty. We talked about flow. That is only of rivers. Rivers flow, we are just unbalancing it just because we are growing population, we are industrializing, we are using modern techniques and pesticides. But what we are doing here is we are misusing, or we are turning our rivers into toxic streams. You may have already realized that the need of an art to conserve water and manage our water resources, to safeguard ourselves from health hazards, to ensure food security, continuation in livelihoods, and productive activity, also to prevent degradation of a natural ecosystem, overexploitation and mismanagement of water resource will impoverish the resource and cause ecological crises that may have profound impact on our lives. So now they are saying is, now we have a need of conservation. From everyday experiencing, write a short note proposal how you can conserve water. So now we are talking about multi-purpose river projects and integrated water resource management. But how do we conserve and manage our water? Archaeological and historical records that shows that from ancient times we have been constructing sophisticated hydraulic structures like dams built of stone, rubble, reservoirs or lakes, embankments and canal for irrigation. Not surprisingly, we have continued this tradition in modern India by building dams in most of our river basins. So hydraulic structures in ancient times. So first century BC, Sringavirpura, please, if my pronunciation is wrong, don't mind it, near Allahabad had sophisticated water harvesting system channeling the flood from Ganga river. For example, this is Ganga. They have channelized it. Break into many channels so that to reduce the flow of water, and they used it for irrigation. During the times of Chandragupta Maurya, dams, lakes, and irrigation systems were extensively built. Evidences of sophisticated irrigation works have also been found in Kalinga, Odisha, Nagarjunakonda, Andhra Pradesh, Banur, Karnataka, Kolhapur, Maharashtra. Now also please don't mind my pronunciation. So they are telling us that we have found many irrigation works in different cities of different states. 11th century Bhopal Lake, of one of the largest artificial lakes of one time, was built. This is important. The 14th century the tank of Hauz Khas, Delhi was just constructed by Iltmish for supplying water to Siri Fort. So they are not telling us that not now only we have built these things, but in Asia. So this is a dam and this is a reservoir. Then when they will open this gate here, then the water will come with high speed. These are turbines here, they will rotate and give us hydro energy. Clear? Why are dams and how do they help us in conserving and managing water? Dams were traditionally built for impound rivers, rainwater that could be used later to irrigate. In previous time, they are telling us that we used to make dams to store water for irrigation. Today, dams are built not for just irrigation but electricity generation, water supply to domestic and industrial uses, flood control, recreation, inland navigation, fish breeding, and hence dams are now referred to as multi-purpose projects. How many uses of impound water integrated with one another? For example, Satluj Byas River Basin, Bhakra Nangal project water being used for hydropower production and irrigation. Similarly, Hirakund project in Mahanadi Basin irrigates conservation of water, flood control. So now they're telling us we nowadays build dam for various reasons, not only irrigation but electricity generation and flood control. So they are given an example of Satluj Byas River Basin and Bhakra Nangal project, in which we are generating hydropower, and as well as used for irrigation, whereas Mahanadi Basin Hirakund project is used only for flood control. What is a dam? A dam is a barrier across flowing of water, obstruct, direct or retards the flow, often creating a reservoir, lake or impoundment. Dam refers to a reservoir rather than the structure. Most of dam have a section called spillway. So this is all a dam and this is a spillway. Water will flow either intermittently or continuously. Dams are classified according to their structure, intended on basis of height or purpose. Based on structure and material used, dams are classified as timber dam, embankment dam, masonry dams, and several subtypes. According to the height of dam, they can be categorized as large dams, major dams, alternately as low dams, medium dams, and high dams. So these are the types of dams. Okay, this you need not remember, I think so. So multi-purpose projects launched after independence, integrated water resource management approach, were thought of a vehicle that would lead to the nation to development and progress. Overcoming the handicap of its colonial past, Jawaharlal Nehru proudly proclaimed, "The dams are the temples of modern India." The reason being that it would integrate development for agriculture and village economy with rapid industry. So now they're telling us when we were independent, we were free of some kind of sickness, like okay, from the colonial rule, right? And then Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru said that these are the temples of modern India, because when we go to temples, we have a vision, a mind to get fulfilled, and now these dams will be fulfilling our irrigation facilities and our development goals. So now here it is written, we have sown the crops in Asar, we'll bring Bhadu in Bahadra. Floods have swollen the Damodar, the sailing boats cannot sail. O Damodar, we fall at your feet, reduce the floods a little. Bhadu will come earlier, later, let the boats sail on your surface. This is a popular Bhadu song in the Damodar Valley region, narrates the troubles faced by people owing the flooding of Damodar river, known as River of Sorrow. So, like this is a song in which they are asking for the floods to stop. So, in recent years, multi-purpose projects and large dams have come under the great scrutiny and opposition of a variety of reasons. Regulating and damming of the river affect the natural flow, causing poor sediment. See, first it exploit natural flow, poor sediment flow, excessive sedimentation at the bottom of reservoir. See, you have studied about sedimentation, right? Suppose this is your reservoir. This is water. This water has some kind of impurities, but the water is there and there is no flow, so the sedimentation will be there. This thing will be collected here. Okay, this is resulting in rockier stream beds, which is affecting aquatic life. Dams also fragment rivers, which is making aquatic fauna. See, when there is dam there, it disrupts the flow of a river, which disrupt a migration, okay, right? Migration of aquatic life. Then we have the reservoir that created on the food plains would submerge the existing vegetation. And see, when we have created reservoir, there might have been some vegetation, there must have been a wildlife, but when we have collected water there, it would have destroyed all the natural vegetation there, right? Multi-purpose projects and large dams have also caused of many new social movements like Narmada Bachao Andolan, Tehri Dam Andolan, resistance to this. See, let me explain you without reading. So, Narmada Bachao Andolan, in this Andolan, people were asking that we don't want to make a dam here, because if there will be dams, so they will have no place to live. Which means that they will lose their livelihood, they have to go and migrate. So they were Narmada Bachao Andolan or Save Narmada movement is a non-government organization, an NGO, mobilized by tribal people, farmers, environmentalists, human rights activists against the Sardar Sarovar Dam that has been built across the Narmada River in Gujarat is originally focused on the environmental issues related to trees that would submerge under the dam water. Recently, it has refocused the aim to enable poor citizens and especially overseas displaced people to get full rehabilitation facilities. So, this is not important, but let's read it. People felt in suffering would not be in vain, accepted the trauma of displacement, believing the promise. Often, see, let me explain you. So, in Narmada Bachao, first they started that there are a lot of trees and they would submerge in the water. Then they changed that poor citizens have to migrate. Okay. So these are the reasons for Narmada Bachao Andolan or Save Narmada movement. But they're also telling us people who think that it is for national development and they migrate, but then also they are not happy. If they are happy and they leave their livelihood and their houses for development of country, they are not getting that facilities they need. They need to. It is like starting life again. Clear? Irrigation has also changed the cropping pattern in many regions with farmers with water extensive and commercial crops. The great ecological consequences like salinization of soil, salinized like it has become saline and salty, and then transform the social landscape and increasing social gap between richer and landowners and landless poor. As we see, them did create conflict between the people waiting different uses of benefits from the same water in Gujarat. Sabarmati Basin farmers were agitated and also caused a right over the higher priority given to water supplies in urban areas, particularly during droughts. Interstate water disputes are also becoming common with regards to sharing the cost and benefits of multipurpose projects. So in this paragraph, they are telling us that people are also accused that they only give water priority to urban area. Rural areas are also lacking behind. Okay. So this is a map in which they are telling major rivers and dams. This you can once you can go through it. I think this is important for your map in. Only 4 slides are left. Let's complete this chapter now. Do you know that you can read by yourself. Most of the objections on the project arose due to the failure to achieve the purpose of which they were built. Ironically, their dams were constructed to control floods. Temporary floods due to sedimentations in the reservoir. Moreover, the big dams have mostly been successful controlling floods. At the times of excessive rainfall, you may have seen or read how to release water of the dams during heavy aggravated the flood. During heavy rain situation in Maharashtra and Gujarat in 2006, the flood have not only devastated life and property but also caused extensive soil erosion. Sedimentation also meant for the floodplains were deprived of silt and natural fertilizer, further adding on the problem of land degradation. It was also observed that the multi-purpose projects introduced earthquakes, caused waterborne diseases and pest and pollution. So they are saying us that the dam were built for a purpose for controlling flood, but they are unsuccessful. Because when there is flood and excessive rainfall, the reservoir get fills up, and they have to open the slitway, and due to that there is a lot of erosion, right? So here we can see it is an answer of land degradation. This causes land degradation, and sometimes earthquakes are also there. Waterborne diseases are caused because water is collected. There is breeding of mosquitoes and other types of bacteria and pest and pollution resulting in excessive use of water. So these are the heavy droughts in Kolkata, rain havoc in Maharashtra and Gujarat, basic floods, the ride of his life. Rainwater harvesting. Many thought have given disadvantages and rising resistance against purpose projects, and without water harvesting system was very alternative. Both socio-economical environment in ancient India also we uses it. Times to harvest rainwater, groundwater, river water, and food water, keeping a local ecological conditions and their water needs in hill mountainous regions. People build diversion channels like gulls and coals in western Himalayas for agriculture. Rooftop rainwater harvesting system commonly practiced for storing drinking water, particularly in Rajasthan. In floodplains of Bengal, people developed irrigation channels to irrigate their fields. In arid and semi-arid regions, agricultural fields were converted into rain-fed storage structures that allowed the water to stand in moistened soil, like Khadins in Jaisalmer and Johats in other parts of. See, first is recharge through hand pump. So this is one type of rain harvesting. The water is collected in a roof, and these pipes take water in the soil, and this water goes here in the groundwater, and it is used by this water pump. This is the dug well in which this water is going in this big soil. Here there are rocks for purifying the water, and this is well. In this well the water is going, and we take out water. And then they have talked about right here Khadins and Jaisalmer and Johars and other parts of it. Let me see if there is picture or I'll see. This is here. So this is an arid region, right? In this arid region, what is happening? There is a lot of dry soil. The arid soil is dry, right? So when there is water, this correct in like this pond like structure which is called as pool. This is not okay, this is not that which I was talking about. This is the coal, right? It is in different states in which this water is stored like openly, and then this is released for irrigation when needed. So in semi-arid regions and particularly in bank flood, let me explain you, okay? I can't resist now. So Khadins in Jaisalmer in Rajasthan water. See, this is your area, okay? Right here you have arid soil which has no. Let me make. This is your arid soil which is very dry. There is precipitation. You let the water stand here and you make a structure so that it cannot go out. So after some time it get moistened and it can be used for irrigation or for agriculture. Clear? Then we have this. So there are tankas which are made for storing water and conserving. We were built in a main house. We are using it from ancient times. The rainwater has subsequent showers and collected. The rainwater can be stored in tankas, which is also rainwater or parlor pani, which is commonly See, let me explain. So here there is a tank by which the water goes here downward, okay? So, and in this tank it is stored. They are basically calling it tankas. So what happens here is on your roof there is water, and which is first rainfall. They let the water pass through and they don't use. First rainfall water is never used, okay, right? So they let it pass and it cleans the tank and it cleans the pipes, and from second shower they start collecting water. So this is all about it. Roof water harvesting common across the towns and villages. So now they have told us about rule. In western Rajasthan, sadly the practice of rooftop water irrigation has been declining, And also maintaining of counters is not the taste of tap water. People are also not maintaining tankas now. Very little amount of people are maintaining tankas. They are just maintaining it because they don't like water of tap. And Mysuru, Karnataka villages have installed their households rooftops rainwater harvesting system to meet their water needs. 200 households have already installed the system, and village has earned a rare distinction of being rich in rainwater. So this is done, and then we have bamboo drip irrigation system. So in Meghalaya 200 years ago, see, they are using these types of pipes from taking water to their fields. Using bamboos, they are taking water to their fields. Like this is crossing the road upon it, so it gives very little water, like 20 to, they've written here 20 to 80 drops per minute at the site of plant. They take these things to their roots of plants. Then rainwater harvesting, which is adapted. Ganado receives an annual precipitation of 1000 millimeter, and with 80% of collection efficiency and about 110 fillings, every house can collect about 50,000 liters of water annually. For 20 houses, the net amount of water is 1 lakh liters annually. Tamil Nadu is the first state of India which has made rooftop water as such compulsory for all houses. See, Tamil Nadu has made every house to have a rainwater harvesting system. Okay. So with this, our chapter is completed. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks. So let's discuss what we have studied. First, we have studied uses of water. Then we studied about what are dams. Then we studied about pros and cons of dams. Then we studied about projects. And then we studied about conservation methods. So this is all we studied. Hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe to the channel, and if you want such more videos, comment in the comment box which chapter you want next. Thank you so much.